You're watching ABC10 Plus Tonight.
Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus Tonight. Since October, vandals have cost the city of Sacramento $400,000 after damaging city parking meters. Now there's a call for more security and an update to ABC10's continuing coverage of anchored tiny homes and how generous people helped finish an abandoned project. ABC10 Plus Tonight starts now.
And we start tonight with an update to a story that we first brought to you on ABC 10. An Orangevale family spent their savings on building an ADU for their family member, only to find out that more than $100,000, the $100,000 that they gave that company called Anchored Tiny Homes, would leave them with an unfinished project. Anchored Tiny Homes closed and filed for bankruptcy earlier this year, but there is some good news tonight. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen is joining us now to explain in an ABC 10 exclusive. And Jeannie, we're very happy about this story, right?
Well, Alex, after our story first aired, the family tells us that a lot of people were contacting them wanting to help. And tonight, the family gives us an exclusive look at their now finished project, all thanks to kind-hearted people.
Will you walk through the house with us?
Sure. On this December morning,
Is this your new kitchen?
Sarah Schumann and her father-in-law were all smiles in his newly finished ADU.
It's really hard to put it into words, how thankful that we are as a family for this to come to fruition.
We first met this Orangevale family in July 2024.
Oh, I'm getting frustrated as heck.
Schumann hired Anchored Tiny Homes and paid the company more than $100,000, but their project was never completed.
I couldn't get an engineer or anybody from Anchored Tiny Homes to come out and take a look at it.
Schumann says after ABC 10 aired her family's story, people began reaching out.
I think it was the following day I was contacted by Steve Kersley, and he kind of guided me through what should happen next.
It was an opportunity to be able to step in on this project and restore some faith in contractors and show that, we are actually here to help people and improve people's lives.
The National Association of the Remodeling Industry, or NARI, is a resource and networking group for people in the construction industry. Steve Tankersley is the vice president of the Sacramento chapter. He wanted to use his connections and resources to help the Schumann family.
Got in here, we knocked it out in about 13 weeks from start to finish. It ended up costing roughly $130,000 to complete the project. That was with the generous donations we have. Again, we had about $100,000 in donations.
One of those donors, David's Plumbing.
We know what it's like to be taken advantage of by a company, and after seeing so many others in the Scammed by Anchored Tiny Homes Facebook group, it kind of just felt like the right thing to do.
David's Plumbing says Anchored Tiny Homes hired them in May to do $14,000 worth of plumbing work. 7 months later, they still have not been paid. Regardless of their own grievances, King says he was more than happy to be a part of this project.
It seemed like they had already spent so much money and lost so much, and really we had time to give. So it just seemed like a good thing to do, to give back to the community.
The community built from many people feeling betrayed by Anchored Tiny Homes. Over the past few months, the company went out of business, and the CEO and COO, Colton and Austin Paulus, filed for bankruptcy.
Everything that unfolded with the company is, there's still a lot of questions.
Anchored Tiny Homes used to be headquartered right here in this Fair Oaks Business Center, and their name used to be displayed right there on that sign. And now the Contractor State License Board says that they have revoked the company's license back in November, and they can't apply for a new one for at least another 5 years.
The company's CEO, Colton Paulus, did not respond to ABC 10's request for comment, but he has been active on social media, writing this public Facebook post saying in part, "Nothing illegal was done. We simply grew too fast, scaled too quickly, and were not properly capitalized to support the growth." He says, "I wish it never happened, and I'm not a victim, I'm an overcomer."
I think that he's very far removed from the entire situation. He doesn't realize the impact of what he has done.
Despite ongoing financial issues with Anchored Tiny Homes, Schumann's father-in-law says he is looking forward to getting his life back on track in his now complete new home.
A little independence, make a nice little patio, sit out here, have a coffee in the morning. I'm looking forward to it.
Sarah Schumann tells me she was able to save more than $96,000 to complete the ADU on her property because of all the help from NARI. The Contractor State License Board tells me if the Paulises decide to reapply for a license, they would be subject to additional requirements like a disciplinary bond as a condition of reinstatement.
Coffee on the patio. Now that sounds nice.
That does sound nice, yeah.
Now, for people that are still, dealing with this, clients that are still looking for help, is there anything that they can do? Who should they turn to?
Well, Alex, there are hundreds of clients that are involved in this bankruptcy filing, and the Sacramento DA's office tells us that they are still taking Anchor Tiny Homes cases, and the Attorney General's office is referring all these people to the DA's office. The bankruptcy case involving Anchor Tiny Homes owners is still ongoing, and it's working its way through the court system.
Yeah, and Jeannie has been covering this, so you already know. We'll keep you updated with the very latest. Jeannie, thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
Right now, Sacramento police are investigating a significant uptick in parking meter theft and vandalism, costing the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. They say arrests were made in connection with several cases, but they're still asking the community to stay vigilant. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us live now from Old Sacramento. Roxanne, I know you talked with locals and police. What are you learning tonight?
Well, Laura, people out here were ultimately surprised to hear that these parking meter vandalism is costing taxpayers thousands of dollars. Sacramento police now asking for their partnership in order to help stop these crimes in their tracks. In Old Sacramento, people using the parking meters often face challenges.
It's hard enough to find parking, and it's nice that it's during the day, but in the evenings it's certainly harder. But yeah, when you do find a spot and then the meter doesn't work, it makes it doubly hard.
Sometimes I don't see anything on the screen, and so I get nervous about paying it.
Sacramento police say since October this year, the city has experienced what they call a troubling wave of parking meter vandalism. They found close to 1,400 meters have been damaged, with $15,000 in stolen revenue. It's also resulted in $400,000 in repairs, which comes from taxpayers' money.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but we see it all the time, right? Like there's vandalism, people's cars are broken into. I don't know the technology behind the meters, but you would think there would be something also that could be done to maybe prevent that.
Stacy Knight, a mother of 4, says taxpayers are already paying for enough, and she wants the city to find a different fix.
It does suck that taxpayers would have to be responsible for this. I say just get rid of them. I think for a lot of families it is a burden. It may limit people coming and parking here, but it is a burden and we're losing out on money, and I just don't think it's really necessary.
But Phil Pluckybaum says there is a benefit to having the parking meters which regulate parking. He's the newest city council member being sworn in Tuesday night and will be overseeing District 4, including Old Sacramento and downtown. He says there's concern about the cost the city is having to pay, and finding a solution to this problem is a priority. Police now want people to stay vigilant and watch for anyone tampering with parking meters, especially during the late night or early morning hours, or any suspicious behavior around parking meters or any part of the city. The city is asking anyone to report vandalism to call 311. Now, some things to know: if the parking meter is still accepting a credit card or you can make a payment through the app, you should still do that. Otherwise, you could get a citation for non-payment. I'm live in Old Sacramento. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
A really good reminder to stay vigilant. Roxanne, thank you for the update. But meanwhile, here closer to home, Monica, you are tracking some big changes headed our way.
I certainly am. Yeah, the haziness, we have one more day. We've been dealing with that poor air quality, unfortunately, and it is going to start to change ever so slightly for tomorrow. We're continuing to track that red flag warning as well. This is all part of the big weather pattern that's developing throughout California. We have that red flag warning in effect until tomorrow afternoon and evening about 6 p.m. Some areas inland will expire just a little bit earlier. Now, this is around the high pressure ridge, which has been over us. Stable conditions, areas of patchy dense fog, and also poor air quality throughout much of the state. Now that that high pressure ridge is going to get boosted off to the east, we'll replace it with wet weather and also a shift in our weather pattern. But again, those offshore winds, very dangerous in Southern California. Here's a look at the timeline for Northern California California, morning fog and frost tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, morning rain and snow early Thursday, snow level about 4,500 feet. Still a chance for showers on Friday, but Saturday's the big day. Rain heavy at times, snow level about 5,000 to 6,000 feet, so some difficult travel to kick off our weekend. Highs for today only in the mid-50s. We were socked in with that fog for so many hours here this morning and into the early afternoon. 50s for the foothills and 40s for the Sierra. Big Mountain Backyard right now, generally hazy skies. Our temperatures upper 40s to right around 50 in the valley. Tahoe right now is at 33 degrees, falling quickly there for the high country. As far as our visibility, once again, tomorrow morning, we'll still see it limited in the northern San Joaquin Valley, where it's been pretty much socked in throughout much of the work week so far. We'll see that partially clearing, but then we get into our pattern shift. Our burn status, still some restrictions for tomorrow. No burning unless exempt for our Wednesday throughout the valley. Once that high pressure ridge moves out, the doors open. And here comes our first band of rain early on Thursday. Snow for the Sierra, and that will continue to stay in place throughout much of our Thursday afternoon. Now, the rain actually clears out pretty quickly, and then we're right back at it into our Friday forecast. This one's going to linger all the way into Saturday, and then yet another storm system due in Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So another one on the heels of all that. First one coming in gives us roughly about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch of rain down low, closer to about an inch for the foothills in rainfall. And for snowfall, about 1 to 10 inches of snow possible. But again, this is the first one that comes in. Then we have multiple waves that will be impacting us deep into our weekend as we get about 3 atmospheric rivers that we're going to be tracking here into our extended forecast before we finally start to dry out. Highs for tomorrow in the 40s for the Sierra, 50s and 60s for the foothills. There's not much change in our temperatures for tomorrow. We started off with patchy frost and fog, then mostly cloudy afternoon skies. Unsettled weather develops quickly after that, Thursday through the weekend and beyond. So we're now going to start to put weather impact alert days on the 10-day forecast. Right now, I'm just going to call it for Saturday because that looks like it's going to be the wettest of all the storms. But then we will start to see some clearing by the middle of next week.
Wow, and tomorrow marks 2 weeks till Christmas, and this weekend I know a lot of people will want to get out shopping too, so this could complicate things a little bit.
It certainly could, yes.
Make it a little more messy. Monica, thank you.
The Stockton Emergency Food Bank says the need for donations is now greater than ever, and they need your help. ABC10's Chris Thomas has a look at their amazing impact in the community.
I'm Jeannie, and this is Lucy, and we love coming to this food bank. It is extraordinary. The people are so nice. They give you just a huge selection of things, and it helps me so much because I'm on a fixed income.
Day in and day out, the Stockton San Joaquin Emergency Food Bank provides food for people all across the region.
My name is Nikita, and I support the program for the food bank because it helps my family, and they do as much to have resource, whatever help you need, you can ask.
While California produces nearly half the nation's fruits and vegetables, about 1 in 5 people currently struggle with food insecurity.
The need is greater than ever. It started back in 2020. We saw numbers steadily creep up, and now we're reaching record-breaking numbers for our emergency food bank here in Stockton.
The food bank says since the pandemic, the number of people in need of food services across the area has nearly doubled.
We need help in sustaining the work that we do here in the food bank.
And while they appreciate all donations, they are able to stretch the dollar a lot further when you give a monetary donation.
For every dollar that you donate, we are able to buy twice as many items that you would going to a regular grocery store. So anytime that you have extra funds, instead of putting them in a jar, send them over to a food bank.
Now through December 21st, you can help the Emergency Food Bank of Stockton as well as 6 other local food banks in our area. Just head to abc10.com/stand against hunger or text the word hunger to 916-321-3310.
Well, for the first time in 8 years, somebody not named Darrell Steinberg will be mayor of Sacramento.
Assembly member Kevin McCarty will be sworn into the role at today's city council meeting.
That's right. ABC 10's Mark S. Allen is in Sacramento sharing some memories of Steinberg's time as mayor. Sort of a this is your life. Mark?
Yeah, that's it. Walt, funny you should say that. Kind of dated reference for guys like me, you, and Mayor Darrell Steinberg. There was a show where they used to just break out historical pieces of people or things or pictures and make people react to it. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with him. I've had the pleasure of catching up with him largely at charitable events to get to know him in that way. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't talk about politics. I don't like to talk about religion. I'll never debate what's the best Star Wars sequel. You know, the hot topics, I just avoid them at all cost. But I will talk about other stuff, and I did enjoy getting to know Darrell Steinberg. And so take a look at what we did. Just kind of set up shot here at 1430 Q, best view of Sacramento, to have breakfast with them, a cup of coffee, and talk about things. My favorite thing is busting out these old pictures, including from 60 years ago this year, his high school graduation photo where he was no stranger to tight pants. And then, of course, I got a kick when I kicked out the picture of kindergarten Darrell. Look.
Now, turn this off.
Who is that? What do we need to know about that guy?
You know, some say a face only a mother would love. Actually, I think I look the same, just a little bit older.
Things have been said, but if people said to me, what do you think about Mayor Steinberg? I'd rarely say adorable. Until now.
Until now, yeah. You know, I think anytime I go to a community meeting where people are yelling at me, I'm just going to put up that picture.
Exactly. It's so funny. I had like a dozen pictures of him through the years. Ironically, his earliest picture, that of him in kindergarten, looks exactly like Mayor Darrell Steinberg. Forget about that. Moving forward and talking about kids, I took to the streets and got questions from a bunch of ABC 10 viewers and regulars, especially the kids, to ask them to ask the real questions. Take a look. Nehemiah may want to follow in your footsteps. Go ahead, Nehemiah.
Any recommendations on how old you were when you first thought of being a mayor? And any advice for me?
So Nehemiah, thank you for the great question. I don't know when I started thinking about being mayor, but I started thinking about serving and being involved when I was in the 5th grade. Because when I was in the 5th grade, I ran for class president for the first time. And I won, and it was a lot of fun. And I realized that, hey, maybe this is something that would be fun to continue doing. And so what advice do I have for you, Nehemiah, or any young person who thinks about being mayor or wants to do anything good in life? 3 keys. Work hard, because there is no substitute for working hard. Always be reading a good book, by the way, because that's how you learn. Number 2, be kind to other people. In this society these days, everyone says the only way to get ahead is to be mean to others. No, be nice to other people, because when you're nice, they'll be nice back, and you'll be surprised how much farther you can go when people like you. And 3rd, care about your community. Care about something other than just yourself. Pick a cause. It could be anything, but pick your cause and make that something that you care about and that you work hard on. So 3 things. Work hard, be kind to others, and care about your community and something just beyond yourself.
My goodness, you're good at this. Have you ever thought of running for office?
I've thought about it and I've rejected it. And that's it.
I think you got a shot. A pretty good shot at being mayor. I love that advice. You know, that advice could be for kids that think they want to grow up and be mayor. It'd also be really good advice for Kevin as he enters office. Had a good time getting to know Darrell Steinberg through the years, mostly at charity events. And things that I learned about Darrell during that sit-down chat, his brother, one of which is a rabbi, so the pressure was really tough. You know, you got to do the right things and do good unto others, if that's the case. Otherwise, it's going to be awkward around the Thanksgiving table. I also learned that his dad, still going at it as a school teacher, he's 90 years old. Darrell and I talked about commonalities. He and I both believe that our whole life belongs to the community and we should do for it what we can. And with that said, if his dad's up there at 90 still at it, Darrell's probably got a lot of public service left in him. Back to you.
Mark, we have to go back to that prom picture. The woman in the photo, were you able to find her? Because she has the real story on who he was before he was mayor.
Yeah, I did ask him about that. In fact, so many kids asked questions, and I had a lot of other questions and a lot of other photos. I'll put that all on my Facebook page a little bit later on. It's Mark S. Allen's show.
Yeah, one thing about Darrell, from knowing him through the years, Mark, and it's a compliment, but also could be a slight criticism, is he always tried to make everybody happy, and you can't always make two sides happy at the same time on issues. Did you find that?
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who I truly believe at his core is a nice guy, but unfortunately, and maybe some of us fall victim to this, trying to please everybody, you can't, and he acknowledges that. However, with that said, I don't know that I would have wanted to be mayor during the time he was mayor. Like, if I looked at the charts and it said, hey, there's a pandemic coming, I'd skip a few years.
Yeah, that came out in your interview, and that's true. My dad was a two-time state senator, and I asked him some advice, and should I go into politics? And he said, don't do it. So
he said, be a news anchor instead?
I don't know what he said. He just told me what not to do.
There's that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a tough job. All right. Marcus Allen, Daryl Steinberg.
Thank you so much for watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. Remember, we're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. See you next time.
Hey, Bob, here's dinner.
Thanks, Dad.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Good.
Are you not eating, Dad?
I had a really big lunch, a dinosaur-sized lunch.
I knew.
Yeah, and I'm not hungry.
No parent should have to choose who gets to eat. Go to abc10.com/standagainsthunger and make a donation today.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. What's super exciting, I know you care about high school sports. You'll never find a more comprehensive guide and team dedicated to high school sports. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.